Thank you for listening and welcome to the Life Podcast, a proud member of the Eventide Entertainment Podcast Network. I'm your host, Don Smith. Kyle Steele's in the studio again this week to talk about the Nicolas Cage Movie Review Hour podcast, live taping at the legendary Wiley's Comedy Club next Thursday night. If you enjoy the show, like and follow the Life 1069 on Facebook and Don Smith Comedy on Twitter, or tune in live on Wednesdays from noon to 2 p.m. on WWSU 106.9 FM, or you can stream the show live at WWSU1069.org.
The brutal presence overwhelms me. The brutal presence overwhelms me.
All right, it is Wednesday. It is just a little bit afternoon. It is time for the Life Radio Show. I'm your host, Don Smith. My guests are running late, so we're waiting on Kyle Steele to get here. I just got a text from Luke Capasso. He may not be able to make it today, so you may just be stuck with me sitting here talking to myself for 2 hours. Won't that be fun? Now, Kyle Steele is in the building. He's on the way to the station as we speak. But I'm going to go ahead and do a couple announcements real quick. First of all, for anybody that wants to go out to Wiley's this weekend and see Mike Paramore, I do have a couple of tickets. You can stop on into the studio and pick up some free tickets to go see Mike Paramore this weekend at Wiley's Comedy Club. And actually, see, my first guest is coming in, but he's not allowed to reveal his name because he's actually on the staff here at Wright State. So he's embarrassed to be part of the show, but I'm giving him some tickets right now. Anybody else want tickets? Stop by the window, give me the finger, show me something, whatever you got, and I'll give you a couple of pairs of tickets to go see Mike Paramore this weekend at Wiley's Comedy Club. On that note, I'm going to go ahead and read over a couple things real quick. As you know, this past summer I was part of... Sorry, I'm doing too many things at once here. Hey, there he is. You want to pull up a mic? You can... No, not really. Okay. Chicken. Okay. Hey, there you go. See, just gave a whole pile of tickets away right there to some of my friends here on the staff at Wright State. I'm actually on the air, just in case you didn't, Okay. I apologize for that. But anyway, I'm going to read a couple things real quick since I can't stop going. Hey, thanks for stopping by. We'll catch you later. Or you can sit down, have a seat, whatever. Being on the clock and everything. What I have right now is I have the Unwritten podcast that I was involved with this past summer that's out right now at unwrittenpodcast.com. You can check it out on there. It's an audio drama podcast. It's been nominated for 12 Audioverse Awards. So if you want to go to audioverseawards.net, you can cast your vote up to October 30th. Here's some of the things we are nominated for. Best Original Composition for an Ongoing Production, Best Original Composition for a Dramatic Production, Best Audio Engineering for Ongoing and for Dramatic Production, Best Writing for Ongoing and for Dramatic. They get a little redundant with this, don't they? Best Ongoing Production, Best Dramatic Production, Best Performance of an Actress in an Original Supporting Role for a Long-Form, Large-Cast Production, Jordan Lopez, who plays Chelsea Wu in Unwritten. Best Performance of an Actress in an Original Leading Role for a Long-Form Production, Luna Madison has been nominated. Best Actor for Supporting Role, and let's see, that is David Senator. And Best Actor for a Leading Role in a Dramatic Production, Sean Gunther, who is the narrator. And Kyle Steele has made it in not a moment too soon. So, hey, it's good to see you, man. It's good to see you.
Well, hello, sir.
See, he was a little distracted. He didn't know I'd be on the air as he was coming in.
Yeah, why didn't you think you'd be so on and saying hello right as I walked in?
Well, that's what I like to do.
You're
just throw
to
people off as soon as they walk in the door.
Right.
So how's it going, man?
But what are these headphones?
They're yours. Take them.
Look how fancy. Oh, gladly. You haven't seen my setup yet. Wait till you see my setup and you'll be like, oh, I shouldn't have told him to take those because his setup's atrocious.
He ran off with them.
My headphones are terrible.
How did the show at Wiley's go? I've heard good things.
It went fantastic.
That is awesome.
I got no complaints.
I wish I could have made it, but
we're going back, so that's a good sign.
Yeah,
you don't usually get invited back if you ruin the place.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, the weirdest thing is that there were people there that we didn't know. That was when that happened, I was like, oh, it's catching on.
Yeah.
There's people there that we don't know. I mean, it was obviously most of the people we knew, but
Right,
you know,
right.
that's how that's
Well,
going to work.
hopefully the people you didn't know come back and they
That's
become
the
people
goal.
you know.
Yeah, that's the goal.
And they keep listening. That's
My
the
concern is now no one's going to be there. We're going to go, oh, we lost our friends and the people before they could become our friends.
we ruined the whole
Yeah.
thing with one show.
Right. That was it. Just one show and we're done.
Yep. That happens.
Right. Thank you.
I keep waiting for this show to be done, but
Well,
I keep coming back every
For
week.
some, yeah, you've
They
done
ha-
your best. You've been cussing. You've been,
I know
you've been trying your hardest.
They haven't changed the locks. They haven't locked me out of the studio. They keep. I don't know what's wrong with them.
I wish you
I
luck.
try and I try and I try.
I wish you luck for sure.
Well, it's good to have you back in the
Thank
studio,
you, sir.
Kyle Steele. You have two podcasts. You have the Nicolas Cage Movie Review Hour, which
do.
is fantastic.
Thank you very much.
Even though it is Nicolas Cage,
Yeah.
it's still.
I've learned so much from doing. We just did our first recap episode. If you haven't got a chance to check that out, check it out. We just basically. So he has so many movies, obviously.
Right.
One of our kind of end goals here is we want to track all the movies so we can rank them all, you know, from best to worst, you know, to the best of our abilities. That's really because we're going to be the true authority on the subject. We're watching
Right,
every single
as
movie.
you should be.
Yeah, we're going to watch every movie. So, I mean, you know, our opinion on that matters because we're not just going to be,
Right.
we're going to be basing it off of something. And so that's our goal here is to rank them all. Well, we got the idea we should split it up. So we ranked our first 25 movies. So we've just done 25 movies. Now we've ranked them. So if you listen to that episode, one, you'll hear voicemails from a bunch of our comedian guests, Joe Young, Dusty Harvey, you know, a lot of these guys who've been on our show. They all left voicemails and stuff. So we play them live on the show. We briefly talk about all the first 25 movies. And then, like I said, we rank them. We also give a bunch of stats. So here's a crazy stat for you. I don't remember the exact number, but we have watched 48 hours worth of Nicolas Cage movies just in the
wow.
first 25. And then adding all the podcast episodes up, okay, that's another, it was 29 hours, I think. And then we usually have about an hour of prep. So that's another 25 hours.
That is a lot.
So we have basically spent about 5 days just doing Nicolas Cage stuff. That's it. 5 entire days
That
devoted
is
to
a lot
Nicolas Cage.
of Nick Cage.
Yeah. So we give stats on like what was the biggest flop, what was the biggest budget, what was the highest rated, lowest rated of the first 25 movies we did.
How many movies is he actually in? I
I
mean,
think
just
about 80.
roughly.
I think about 80.
80?
And that's
I would
not
have thought
counting
more than that. 'Cause
well,
that's-
there's some stuff I'm not counting.
okay.
So there's maybe some bit roles that he was in because obviously Francis Ford Coppola is his uncle, and that's how
really?
he got. That's how he. Well, his last
I
name
did
is
not know
Coppola.
that. I did
It's
not know
Nicholas
that.
Coppola. He changed it to Cage
Right,
because he
because
didn't want to
he-
be associated. Not that he
Right,
didn't want to be
because if you're-
associated.
if
He didn't
you're
want
trying,
to.
Yeah, he didn't want to ride off of that success.
like
He
Joe-
wanted to do it on his own.
Have you heard of the author Joe Hill?
I don't believe I have.
Okay, well, there's a reason. It's because he doesn't go by Joe King. Okay,
Oh, well,
which
there
is
you
his
go.
real name. His real name is Joseph King. His father's Stephen King, but he writes horror, so he goes by his middle name is Hilliard, so he goes by Joe Hill, and he's an extremely talented writer.
Did not
But
know
a lot
that.
of people don't realize that his father is Stephen King.
See, I wouldn't. I don't understand why you wouldn't try to capitalize on
You
that.
just-
I mean,
you wanna
I
have
guess
your
if
own-
you want to, yeah,
You want to have your own
wanna do it
identity.
all your own.
He got discovered. Joe Hill did. He got discovered with Heart Shaped Box, and nobody knew who he was. I'm a big reader. Nobody had. Don't just watch Nicolas Cage movies. I do other things.
you can. It's not
so
just
shockingly,
Nick Cage, you can actually read.
shockingly, I can
That's
actually
awesome.
read. Although, to be fair, the more Nicolas Cage movies I watch, my IQ is most certainly shrinking.
Well,
I
yeah,
can
you got
feel
to
it.
read twice as much
I can
just
feel
to,
it.
just to counter
I
that.
I have to start like I can no longer read because I love like just those dime paperback like noirs. I love them, like old noir. I love it, like
Oh, there you
50s, 40s, and 50s noir. And I also love those straight to paperback kind of throwaway horror novels. Love those, but I'm gonna have to start reading like Hemingway and McCarthy to try to just
Right.
like counterbalance what Nicolas Cage is doing to me.
Anthony Doerr is a good one. I read.
Ooh, okay, yeah, sure.
I read what was the one I read of his? See, I can't even.
I'm
remember
familiar
it now.
with the
It's been-
name.
yeah.
I'm familiar with the
yeah,
name.
he's really good. And another one of my favorites that I've been reading a lot of lately, and now I can't think of his name either. Wow.
They must,
See, I'm lying.
They must have
really
been super
can't read
important.
either. I can't read either.
You certainly can't remember.
Well, I can.
My favorite horror writer is a guy named. There's two of them. One's still living. One's not. The guy who's still living, his name is Brian Keene. He almost wasn't still living. He had a heart attack a couple years ago, but he wound up. I think he died. I think he legally kind of passed away at one point, but they brought him back, so he's still writing, and he's an incredible writer. Brian Keene, not King, but Keene, Keene. And then a guy who died, I want to say in the early 90s, his name was Michael McDowell. He was a Master's of Fine Arts grad from like Stanford, but he wrote horror novels. So imagine a horror novel that appears to be written by kind of a Victorian author. It's just beautiful writing. It's very, very descriptive, very pretty adjectives, but it's a horror novel. So you just don't see that. Like that's kind of some of the attraction.
I don't read a whole lot of horror novels. I've been
You
kind of
certainly
trying
don't
every
see
now
that
and then to get back into them. Tom Robbins was who I was trying to think of.
Oh,
I
okay.
never read any Tom Robbins.
No.
Still Life with Woodpecker is really good.
Oh, okay.
It's he writes very kind
My
of
wife
kind
reads
of
a lot
gritty,
too.
gritty.
My wife reads. It's incredible how quickly she can read. It's insane.
Yeah, I don't.
She
get people
reads
that read that fast.
so fast, but she also has incredible reading comprehension. Because actually, the way that it works technically is the faster you read, the better your comprehension should be. So it's not, and the two things are correlated, but not because if you can read faster, you should be smarter. It's that if you spend too much time reading, it's because you're thinking about other stuff. So if you're able to read quickly, it's because you're focusing on the book. So your reading comprehension is actually going to be a lot higher. So I have too much ADD, so I read too slow. Yeah.
Another one, if you like short stories, George Saunders is one you should definitely pick up and read because he writes some crazy kind of
Neil Gaiman is probably one of my favorite short story. I mean, he doesn't just write short stories, but his short stories are kind of out there. They're not necessarily. Oh my God, there's the horror writer from back in the 1800s that everyone wants to hate now, H.P. Lovecraft, that everyone kind of hates now because he was a complete racist and misogynist and. I mean, he was just
imagine that.
Back in the 1800s, it's one of those weird things where it's like, well, this is like a big deal right now, like in kind of the author circles. I mean, I've written a novel, I've written short stories, and so I'm in a lot of these horror groups because I would reach out, or not just horror. I've written other stuff than that, but I mean, I'm in a lot of these author groups to try to to get feedback on stuff, and you link up with circles. And I've done Novel Writing Month, which is in November.
I'm going to have to get together with you on that because I've actually got 2 novels that are
finished.
There you go.
I have the one that's finished. Nothing. Haven't done anything with it, and then I have a myriad of short stories. And again, I don't really. I've had a couple
of short stories published. I've had a short play that I wrote published.
Oh, very cool.
That's been about it for a while. So.
I've done. I've done weird. I don't know if it's weird or not, but I was in a band. I guess I still am. We only do it for this purpose. But I had 5 short stories that we turned into songs. So it's kind of cool. Like basically, my friend Kevin is a lyricist. He read the stories and then turned them into songs. So we have them recorded and just never really done anything with it. And I've wanted to do that for a novel. Basically so you have soundtracks with movies.
Do a long concept album kind of
Exactly.
thing. Yeah.
Because you have soundtracks from movies, right? And you have original scores that are created from movies. Well, I like the idea of creating a score for a book. That's a kind of a cool concept because a lot of books right now are digital anyway. So you just release everything digitally, right? You kind of aim at that. So that's an idea that I have that.
Right. So it's like an audio book with,
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Kind of cool, right?
Interesting.
I'll never do it, Don, but it's a good idea.
It's an interesting concept.
Yeah.
Well, but apparently you don't have the good equipment to do that. So.
No, just the headphones. Everything else is fine.
You need,
my headphones suck.
All right. Well, I'd offer them to you, but they have the station logo on.
Oh,
They'd
they
probably
won't care.
be upset.
They won't care.
Yeah, they probably wouldn't even notice. I don't even know if anybody uses them. I sure as hell don't.
Right. I had never seen these before.
But how did we get on Book Talk?
I don't know.
Yeah. But no, George Saunders, you should definitely check out. It's kind of trying to think of the term. It's like I'm lost. It has been.
Do you want me to host? Because I got this. I'm feeling fresh.
Take it away.
Feeling fresh.
It is the last week and a half has been absolutely insane, and I can't talk about any of it.
I know, which is even worse.
But it's just that there's so much going on right now. I just want to beat my head into a wall.
I know
then
tiny
throw up the
fragments.
ball,
I know
and,
tiny fragments of it, so I can imagine. That there's a lot of stress, and then when you can't talk about it, it's even worse.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I mean, it's like then you're just internalizing.
Other than with my therapist, I can't talk about it. Anyway, how the hell are you?
I mean, I'm not dealing with what you're dealing with, so I at least got that. No, I'm good. I like these because usually when we come in here, first of all, it's the first time it's just you and me.
Yeah,
so that's kind of cool.
So
hopefully
we dim the lights.
We can dim the. Yeah, I brought my own candles.
Make you earn those headphones.
The BYOC. Make you earn this.
There you go.
Let's not do that.
No.
Talk about getting kicked off the radio.
Yeah,
I think that would be it, right? That would be the.
Well, especially if we left the mics on.
If we left the mics on, and we do have a big window behind us.
Yeah,
and sometimes I know because you can hear. So what we're saying right now, they can hear in the hallway.
Yeah, with a 10-second delay.
There's a little bit of a delay. So you can almost say something crazy and then kind of look back to see if anyone notices. But it's funny.
The bad thing is I've noticed about 90% of the people walking by that window have their headphones on. They're staring at their phone. They are completely oblivious to any of the noise going on around them.
They're living their own life. You know what I mean?
Exactly. They don't care about us.
Yeah. I've always thought that was an interesting thing because I think a lot of people, and this isn't what you were just doing, obviously, but a lot of us, when we see people who are like staring at their phones, we immediately look at that and we judge that as, they're not living, right? Like that's not living. They're just staring at a phone. But in reality, if you look, often there's a smile, right? Maybe there's a frown, maybe there's a grimace, maybe there's whatever, but true emotion is happening to that person.
There's something going on.
They're making a connection, right? And so what it is they're just not living the way that either you're used to or the way that you're accustomed to or the way that you think people should. But at the end of the day, they are most certainly living. So it is kind of this interesting idea where a lot of times I think we judge people who are doing that because you hear a lot of things like telling kids to go outside, right? Like when I was a kid, I played with sticks. Literally, I did, right? Like I'm younger than you, but still, like I grew up in that era where you didn't have. We basically had Super Nintendo. I mean, that was really that was when I was a kid.
We had Atari.
Yeah, I was older. I was older enough. We had like Super Nintendo, but
to be honest, playing with sticks had better graphics.
Yeah, exactly. That's not a lie. But now, so we tell kids like go outside and play. Like you're not living. It's like, do you really think that people are going to be going outside in 60 years?
I doubt it.
That's what I'm saying. Like I think we need to kind of readjust the way that we look at the direction we're going here, because everything is dramatically changing. And if we keep kind of clinging to these, these people aren't living, these are like, all they're doing is messing on their phone. That's all they're doing all day. Yeah. That is literally where life is almost entirely taking place.
But they're not.
We got to catch up.
They're
attention
not
to
paying
you.
attention to me, Kyle.
Well, what you got to do is figure out how to get your stuff on that phone, right? To the best of your abilities.
I'll call them.
Yeah, call them. Well, that's what we'll do. We'll just bust out a. Yeah.
It'll be just random. Instead of a radio show, it'll be a telephone show. We'll just randomly call like one person and do like part of the show, and then we'll call another. We'll just keep going that way.
That's how, man, I'm terrified of my phone too, because I have so many. I mean, I have obviously a bunch of UFC fighters because I host the MMA podcast. I have Dana White, president of the UFC. I have his number in here. Bruce Buffer. Who's like, I'm so terrified that one day I'm going to send something or like, I don't know. I send weird pictures to my friends all the time. You've met Tim.
Right.
We are constantly sending weird pics. I mean, I should show you. I can't.
I can see that. He got you the facts, what was the cat facts,
sloth facts, and
sloth
cat
facts. Yeah.
I mean, I can't describe this to our listeners, but I'm going to show you if I could find where he had it. I'll have to find it in a second, but
You're a writer. You should be able to describe it.
Oh, no, I can't.
Oh, okay.
He called me I can't say it online. I can't say it on your show, but a something weasel. Okay, you already know what I'm referring to.
Yeah, I got you.
He then took that thing
Pickle weasel.
and then turned it into a weasel. And sent that picture to me. So what I did is I set that as his, every time he calls me, that now shows up on my phone.
That's funny.
So again, what if I would have sent that to like Bruce Buffer? I don't know how it would happen, but like that's just, that terrifies me. I have a weird, so I'm like really cautious with my phone now. I'm always afraid I'm going to like text something really weird. Or like, what if I call, like if I'm looking for Brooks, I have a buddy Brooks. What if I call Brooks and I accidentally call Bruce and Bruce answers and I'm like, oh, my bad.
Yeah, well, that's
weird to just hang up.
That's one of the things I don't like about Facebook Messenger on my phone, because I'll be scrolling a long message, and it's something really serious and really upsetting to the person that sent it to me, and if I hit it just the wrong way, it'll get like an emoji up there. So it's like I either love it or I send them a laughing face.
Oh,
what?
no.
No, that's not what...
I wasn't trying to do that. No, that wasn't it.
So, yeah, I don't really care for that.
They need like an undo button.
Right.
Right?
Right.
I do it all the
give
time.
you a second option, like, do you really want to do this?
When you select it, they just send right away. They don't even pop up in your... You need like an undo button.
Yeah.
Give me an undo button.
I think just life in general needs an undo button.
Yeah, exactly.
We all had it. If I had
Facebook
an undo
controls
button,
life too, right? So call them. Call
if
Facebook,
I had an undo button, the stress of the past couple weeks would not be here. I would undo in a heartbeat.
Like I said, I have a very baseline knowledge of what's going on. So, would you undo?
Yes.
Okay. Yep.
Yes, I would.
Yep.
Anyway, on that note, I'm going to pull up a song to play. We're going to go ahead and do the comedy rundown.
There we go.
And that way we don't we're going to undo right now. We're just going to undo. That's all there is to it. But hey, while I'm on the break, if you catch me in the hallway, because I'm going to be running down there real quick after I do the comedy rundown, hit me up. I do have some tickets. If you want to go see Mike Paramore this weekend at the legendary Wiley's Comedy Club, I can hook you up. All right. Well, here's the comedy rundown for this week. Here's this weekend's comedy rundown, brought to you by the legendary Wiley's Comedy Club at 101 Pine Street in downtown Dayton's historic Oregon District. Call 224-JOKE or go to wileyscomedy.com for all the best in Dayton comedy. Friday, October 20th, the Thank God It's Friday night with Cry for Help comedy show is at the legendary Wiley's Comedy Club at 101 Pine Street in Dayton's Oregon District. Friday through Sunday, October 20th through the 22nd, Greg Warren is going to be at the Dayton Funny Bone at 88 Plum Street at the Green. Friday and Saturday, October 20th and 21st, Mike Paramore is at the legendary Wiley's Comedy Club along with Nick Taylor hosting. Saturday, October 21st is the world premiere of From Gettysburg to Baghdad, a short film starring yours truly along with the James Buster Douglas. It's at the Murphy Theater at 50 West Main Street in Wilmington. Go to themurphytheater.org for details and tickets. Sunday, October 22nd, Wiley Sunday Comics is back at Wiley's Comedy Club. That show starts at 8 p.m. with all your favorite locals. That is it. As always, check out wileyscomedy.com and DaytonFunnyBone.com for details and tickets for upcoming shows. And also be sure to check out Unwritten Podcast from Dayton Writers Movement, available at unwrittenpodcast.com.
Are you into making music, videos, or podcasts? Are you a local comedic talent in need of some much-needed publicity? Are you a behind-the-scenes professional interested in audio, video production, graphic design, and public relations? Eventide Entertainment is actively seeking talents, clients, and professionals to help our business grow into something truly special. And we want you to be one of those. For more information, go to facebook.com/Eventide Entertainment or send us an email at eventideent@gmail.com.
Our nation came under wide attack by unknown foreign power.
Coming this summer, when biological warfare threatens extinction, the world needs a hero.
Inside this bag is the cure for the zombie virus. Ta-da! I'm going to save the world. How about you?
William Lee is Zachariah Stone in Cinema Lexicon's 6 Feet Below Hell.
Your kind is doomed, human.
That is one ugly mother. It wasn't so bad. Really?
Starring William Lee, William Regglesworth, Banza Townsend, and Aaron Perez. 6 Feet Below Hell. Available in Redbox this summer.
If you see someone that you know is dead and then come back to life, run!
It's too late. You're not getting the headphones. We're back on The Life. I'm your host, Don Smith. Nobody has approached me yet for tickets to see Mike Paramore this weekend. I still have them. Like I said, stop by the studio, tap on the studio window, or if you want, you can always call, what is the number here? 775-5555 and say, hey, give me some tickets to Mike Paramore this weekend at the legendary Wiley's Comedy Club. Anyway, did you get them?
Good to go.
All right, we're good to go. Kyle has his headphones. He's a happy man. That smile makes it worthwhile to me.
You're welcome. You're welcome. It's because I can't hear.
Oh, really?
I got bad hearing.
Loud enough?
You're too far away from me.
Oh, okay.
That's all it is. You're just too far away.
Okay. Well, now let me know if I need to turn the headphones up.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Thanks.
You know, I don't want to hear your hearing aid whistling. Oh. So what's going on in the world of the MMA? Because you also have a podcast.
What's funny is that is if you know me, and you also have a Nick Cage podcast, and really like the podcast I've been doing I still haven't been doing it for that long, but it's nationally. I mean, I'm one of the top MMA podcasts in the country.
Really?
Yeah. I mean,
wow.
it's an odd little. I mean, it just doesn't have the local following. There's really not a big demacing down here. I mean, I do a show with a guy locally. His name is Fred Kirby. He is absolutely. I take the approach to MMA that I take to Nick Cage. It's the same approach. I still kind of take a comedic approach to it if I can. I'm not real serious with it. If you're listening to this and you don't like MMA, then obviously you're not going to like the show. But I mean, even if you have a very basic like of boxing or anything like that, like I think you'd enjoy it. I mean, I really try not to be too serious, and
which is good.
And the guy that I do the show with, his name was Fred Kirby. He's incredible, man. Has incredible knowledge. If I had his voice, I'd be done. I mean, that's it. That's all I need. Because I think I really don't have that good of a voice for radio. The problem is I have a face for radio. So I ain't going anywhere on TV. So if I want to do anything, radio is about it. And
well, there you go.
My voice is just good enough to pass.
There've been some people on TV that should have stuck with radio, I'm sure.
I just think now it's too much.
I mean, you ever seen Ron Perlman?
That's
true. A fellow with a face for radio, but does fantastic in movies.
I mean, it works though, because in movies he plays, like in Season of the Witch, starring Nicolas Cage.
Oh, well, there you
go. He plays kind of an odd little character.
Is that one you've done yet, or are you doing that?
I just know that
I think for the Halloween season, you should.
Yeah, we did The Wicker Man.
The Wicker Man, okay.
And then we'll probably do Season of the Witch. We're going to do Vampire's Kiss live at Wiley's next Thursday.
Next Thursday, yeah. That's
holy. We probably should start promoting it.
Yeah, you probably. Well, you're on the radio.
We should probably. Hey, what's up, guys? Hey. I have a
didn't
platform.
know if you knew that.
Whoa, I have a platform.
Yeah, it's a good place to promote.
You guys should come out to Wiley's next Thursday.
Yeah,
doors open at 7
for the Nick Cage
podcast. Wear a costume if you'd like.
Yeah,
because it's going to be on the 26th,
and it's an audio podcast, so nobody will see it.
Nobody will see it, but we will talk about it.
Go naked if you want, I guess.
That's what you want to do. Listen, I don't know what the code is. I don't know, but I don't care, personally.
As long as they're inside,
Let's get naked.
Yeah.
Let's get weird with it.
It's a whole different podcast.
Let's get weird with it. Yeah, it doesn't bother me none.
Yeah, well, I never wear pants when I'm doing the radio show.
I see that, and I've told you several times to keep
You're
them off.
you're welcome.
But you, and you've listened so far, so thank you.
Yeah, well, I don't want to disappoint my my guests or my fans.
That's why we dim the lights.
Yeah, well, it's a little warm in here.
I'm hoping that people right now are imagining you sitting, and they think I'm really far away from you because I mentioned that I'm really far away from you. I'm really actually not that far from you.
Right.
I'm just deaf.
I'm sure they're imagining it.
Yeah. So imagine
Because
so
they
the
don't
lights
really know
are dimmed.
what I look like. They just hear this golden voice.
Yes,
Kyle.
you do have a good
And
voice for it. You got a good
And
voice for
they
it.
hear that, and they're picturing just a gorgeous, gorgeous man,
Yeah.
and
for
they would
me,
be so pleased if they saw me in person.
See,
that
okay.
they were right.
Here's what you do well, and this is the thing that I don't really do well with my voice. You can hear when someone's fat. You can hear it in their voice. So you can hear in my voice that I'm fat. I don't know what it is. I don't know why you can tell when people are fat. But even
Yeah,
when people
I
are
don't know. I don't
fatter, you listen to them, and if they lose weight, their voice sounds a little different. I don't know if it's just like there's less neck.
That could
Less
be.
neck
Yeah,
to
it's
travel
a little-
through or something. I don't really know. But you can hear when someone's fat. I have a really hard time covering that up.
See, I
So-
I don't so much have the fat voice.
No,
But
you
the laugh.
you don't. You
I
have a fat voice,
laugh.
PHAT. You definitely got a fat voice in that sense.
Yeah, but I have a chubby laugh. Because you can tell when I laugh. It's like, fat guy.
You're like,
So-
oh, he's struggling to breathe.
See what I mean?
That's the fat guy laugh, right?
That's the fat guy
The,
laugh right there. And
the
that,
wind-
that wasn't even fake. That wasn't
No.
a forced fat guy laugh. That was the true.
That is
true thing.
that is my lungs
Yes.
don't have, they
Yeah,
don't
there's
work
not,
the way that
there's
yours
not as
do.
much room to expand. There's too much pressure. It happens.
My lungs don't work. So you're listening to this, you're skinny. The reason why I laugh that way, I just want to explain it to you is, and Don laughs that way too, is we've made choices in our lives that has
Life-
caused our lungs to not work quite as well.
Yes, it's the
You can hold
diaphragm.
your breath longer, probably, for
'Cause-
sure.
Yeah. When you laugh, that diaphragm's just going up and down, and with us, it's kind
a
of
little-
slamming back and forth because it takes a whole lot to get it up there, and then it just slams back down.
Yeah.
So it's like that's the that's why Santa laughs the way he
There it
does.
is. It's
Only his
Wow.
is a little. He's got that
Full circle. Yeah, full
but
circle.
it's the same diaphragm.
he's also,
action.
and I know I'm on a radio show, so I don't know what our audience is, but he's also not real. So
What?
you do okay.
Tell
I wasn't trying to
tell
make
me
things
I'm not
awkward,
real.
yeah.
Oh, Santa's not real. Okay,
Santa's
I was
not real.
confused
Yeah.
for a second.
Again, I don't know what our audience is, so I don't. If you have a bunch of 6-year-olds that listen to your show, I'm not trying to. We did talk about tanks a lot the last time I was
We
on.
did, so
if we
hopefully-
probably lost the 6-year-olds as an audience.
Their mothers, if they're good parents, their parents kind of
Yeah.
shied them away from the radio station.
Yeah,
Oh no.
My daughter has already started repeating stuff I say.
Oh, that's not good. How old is she?
She's 3.
Oh,
About 3.
man.
She'll be 3 in February, so she's getting there. But she has really good language. Like her language is it's pretty advanced. So she's it's bad. She's repeated some stuff that
When are you going to start letting her
She's
do the
repeating-
podcast? Though?
yeah, I've already she's been on before. She said a couple things. But yeah, she repeats stuff that nobody should say. I mean, let alone her. But I have a really bad mouth. I've
That's
never
not-
cussed
that's
on
not
here
good.
though. You were the one that did it last time.
I don't know what you're talking about. I've been doing this show for almost 3 years. I have never cussed.
You and Gary. You were both. And he was on too. He did it too.
Never done it.
You both
Never done
did.
it. I don't even know what you're talking
I was always worried about me. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna do it. I know I'm gonna. You ever seen that episode of The Office? Have you watched all The Office?
I have, yes.
There's the episode where they go broke. You know, the Michael Scott Paper Company. They go
Right.
broke.
Oh,
and,
yeah,
and they're
yeah.
going upstairs to go meet with them, and they're broke, but they don't want Dunder Mifflin to know because
Right.
Dunder Mifflin's going to buy him out. And he goes, "I'm not going to say anything." And then the elevator opens. He goes, "Oh, I'm going to say something."
Yeah.
That's how I felt when I come in. I'm like, I'm good. I'm not going to say anything. And as soon as I sit down in this chair, I'm like, oh no, I'm going to cuss. I'm going to drop
Yeah.
an F-bomb. I know it's happening. I don't know when, but it's happening.
Yeah, well, I used to have that feeling every time I
Yeah.
came on the air.
Yeah,
and
but now you've gotten used to it.
Now I'm kind of used to it now. I'm used to having to need another water. You
Sure.
dying over there?
I was trying not to say it because I didn't know if,
That's all right. Well, I figured
We'll record it.
I
Why
figured
not?
it was either that or you were trying to tell me to get out of my own studio. Which the way today's going, it's
Maybe.
possible.
Yeah, sure, why not?
I can't. I'm not ruling anything out right now. Oh, Sorry, I had to adjust.
Well, do you have
sleeve.
anything else? I mean, obviously we got the big thing, but other than that, anything else that's going on with you?
That's going on with me? Just working.
How's
just
work?
Working is it's work. It's a job.
'Cause you're also doing-
it's actually pretty decent.
Because you're also, of course, doing wireless. So, I mean, what is your work schedule then?
But do you want me to take you through a typical
Take
day?
me through it. I mean, take me through a week. Do you work the same every
There are
week?
no such thing as typical days anymore.
Ooh, okay.
Well, here's what happened yesterday. Yesterday was fairly relaxed. I got up in the morning. I had to release the Tuesday episode of the podcast, so I got that done. Got that in there. Watched a little bit of TV. Made breakfast. Left the house at time did I leave the house? I left the house around probably about 2:00. So I have to be at work at 3. I work down around Miamisburg. And I worked 3 to 11:30. I got home. Of course, I'm all in between. There are several phone calls
You
I'm
work
dealing
second
with
shift.
Wiley's. I work second shift, which
I was thinking
really
you worked
makes it
graveyard.
tough.
Yeah, that's even worse.
Yeah. It really makes it kind
Graveyard
of
would
difficult.
probably be better
yeah.
for what you're trying to do.
Yeah. I was trying to sleep during the day would kill me.
Yeah.
But, I'd have to crawl into my coffin
Yeah.
to sleep during the day. But no, it's got out at 11:30, and of course there was a lot of things that needed to be done for Wiley's that I hadn't had a chance to do yet. Because of course there hadn't really been a lot of promotional stuff done for the show this weekend. So when I got home around midnight, 12:15, something like that, I immediately started working on a promotional video for Mike Paramore, and that was something I had not done. So I had no idea what I was doing. I had to find some video editing software and actually start throwing things together to have something that didn't look like total crap. So that's I spent probably about 3 hours working on that. Got to bed about 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning. I had to get up this morning, and I had to take my wife to work. So we had to leave the house at about 7:30. And then I dropped her off and headed back home, ate some breakfast, came here. I had to meet with the legal services over there. Then I stopped into the Guardian to talk about trying to get the promotions for Wiley's in the Guardian newspaper here at Wright State. And then I came in here to do the radio show, leave here at 2:00. And I'm going to hopefully get time to get lunch on the way to work, because I have to be there at 3, to where, I'm actually getting out at 11 o'clock tonight, because I have to run back here, pick my wife up after her class is over, and get her back home. So, that's just the last about 24 hours. So it's kind of
stressful.
Kind of stressful. Kind of
when are you? How many years have you put in there?
At my current job?
Mm-hmm.
I've been there just about 5 years.
Oh, okay.
I spent a couple years. I was only a part-time or resource employee there, because I worked here at Wright State full-time.
Sure.
For a couple years in between, but I stayed employed at my current job, so I still have the same seniority. So, I was also in the last 24 hours. I was also reading over my wife's insurance paperwork and getting signed up for my insurance.
Well, there you go. At least you're accomplishing things.
I don't know what, though.
You accomplished more than in one day. I feel like that too, where I'm like, I know that I've done stuff today.
Yeah.
But then you get to the end and you're like, I have no recollection of where any of my time went.
Yeah.
I just know that I get certain things just kind of got done. And obviously my wife is like the true champion. She just she's like a superhero. She just gets so much stuff done in such a short amount of time.
That's good. It's good to have that.
Yeah, it's good because if she's Batman, I'm like Robin, but after like an injury.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm there. I do stuff.
Yeah.
But I don't have a great command.
When I first became part of Wiley's ownership, I wasn't planning on being that involved, because of course I work full time.
You could be a silent partner,
right? Not totally silent, but somewhat. I didn't want an extreme amount of involvement, because I work full time. I am a full time graduate student, working on my MBA.
What do you get? MBA.
Yeah, I have my radio show and podcast every week, plus trying to do comedy, because I actually did get up on stage and get heckled.
Did you get heckled
a little bit.
Did you get heckled by comedians?
Yeah. No. This was a drunk down in Oregon District, which is kind of what we get.
You guys
for
were doing a
having,
street comedy?
We were doing street comedy.
Ah, well, that's what it is. You'll get heckled
It
on
was-
street comedy.
Oh, absolutely. And this, it was kind of funny because as he's heckling, he also has a knot in his shoelaces, and this drunk is trying to get this knot fixed. And I'm thinking, why are you heckling me? You can't even tie your shoes.
Yeah.
Do we need to call your mom? And you talk to my mom? I was like, well, I suppose I can roll over in the morning and wake her up instead of just leave change on the dresser like usual. So I mean, it's silliness.
Yeah.
But it was entered. So all that stuff going on, and at the same time, my wife, she's extremely busy too. She works full time. She's also she's a part-time grad student here working on her master's in applied behavioral science. She's also finishing up her paralegal
Very nice.
paralegal studies at Sinclair.
Very nice.
So she's as busy as I am. It's a hectic household.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. My wife has her master's in social work. She got
Really?
that
Cool.
from University of Texas at El Paso, but University of Texas.
Yeah.
Just Texas has kind of an odd college system. Like University of Texas is like all over
All of
Texas.
them, yeah.
So there's like UT in San Antonio, there's UT in El Paso, there's UT in like kind of tertiary cities that like I feel like when I heard where it was, I was like,
really?
really?
Yep.
Yeah, that's a school.
Yeah.
But and I don't. I got nothing.
Yeah.
Got nothing. It works. It works for what
That's
I'm
it.
doing.
Whatever
I was
works,
still
man.
a paralegal for several years, and now I work in advertising and getting my real estate license and
There you go.
going from there.
Yeah. All just keeping busy.
Buy a house from me,
having
guys.
things
If
to
you're
do.
listening to this,
What's that?
reach out to me. Buy a house from me.
Yeah. There you go.
I'll do a good job for you.
Next time I'm looking, I'll let you know.
There you go.
Do we want to hit some news stories?
Sure.
We got time for some news stories. Like I said, I'm not sure if Luke Capasso is going to make it in today or not. Was hoping. I've been wanting to talk to Luke because he did the.
I know, me too. I wanna meet him too.
He did the Edinburgh Fringe Festival
Oh, okay.
this past August, I think.
I also
July or
love his.
August.
Have you seen his? I don't know what that show's called, but he has a little Facebook show from his Facebook Live show from his.
Yeah, something about crack with comics.
Yeah,
or
something like
along
that. It's
those
pretty
lines.
good.
Yeah,
It's
I've
very
watched a couple of them.
Eric Andre. I think that's kind of what he's channeling. It's very Eric Andre.
Because he
It's
does
very
the
kind of Tim and Eric.
he does the RV show, and he'll show you do YouTube videos of
Yeah,
RV
how to
repairs
fix up.
and
He's
stuff
like,
like that.
I saw one where he's putting that little cheap tile in
Yeah.
across the. Yeah, he put like comic book pages from comic books up as wallpaper.
Well, there
all
you
over
go.
it. Yeah, it's pretty cool, man. He looks like he lives a pretty cool life.
Yeah. The nomad life.
Yeah,
It's-
I'd like to meet the guy. We're gonna
Oh,
probably.
you haven't met him?
I haven't met him yet. I think
Great
we're gonna
dude.
do a show together.
Great dude. Awesome beard.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've seen the beard. Seen the beard.
Because he was actually headlining the street show.
Was
in the Oregon district in front of Feathers.
Can you
which was-
headline that? Is that's something you can
Yeah,
headline?
he was.
Well, I
he
did
was
see.
the headliner.
I
and,
tell you, what I saw the other day was the they're having the competition right now for like the what is it? It's that Northwest Kettering or something stupid.
Yeah. The funniest person in Southeast Kettering contest
They're
at Cat's
doing-
Lounge.
Yeah,
that's-
they're doing one of those right now.
Yeah.
So they
yeah,
go.
that's a Mike Canistero
Yeah,
show.
good luck to
those are
whoever's
always
in
great.
that. I mean, it's tough. It's a really big area, obviously, Southwest Kettering. I mean, it's
Yeah,
tough to rise to the
believe
top
it's-
there,
I
so-
believe it's the finals too.
I
'Cause
know, I saw.
I
It's
actually
great.
got to feature on the semifinals. I
Very,
got to
very
feature
cool.
that show and did horribly because that was the first time I'd been on stage in
I
about
just
4 months.
didn't feel it.
So, it was just I was rusty and I wasn't used to small crowds and crowds of nothing but comics. So yeah, I was definitely rusty going up there. So it's
Yeah.
nobody's fault but my own on that.
Well, I mean, that's how you get unrusty. I mean,
Yeah,
you gotta
get up
just
there and
scrub
do
it off.
That's what I've been trying to do lately. As I was actually able to get up at Wiley Sunday Comics a couple weeks ago, and then I got up in the street comedy in the Oregon district,
I
which
will
was
never-
fantastic.
Never
Never going to do it.
gonna do it.
Oh, it's so much fun
Never gonna do it.
and so terrible.
I mean, I felt pretty uncomfortable starting off for the podcast.
Really,
You can hear
doing
it.
live in front of an
You can
audience?
hear it. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
you can hear it. So I'm uncomfortable for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not that bad, but you can hear it. You can hear that I'm not super comfortable.
Yeah.
But as it goes along, you're fine.
It takes a while. And
Yeah.
When I went on stage at Wiley's a couple Sundays ago, I mean, as soon I was really nervous getting ready to go up because I always get the adrenaline before I go up there anyway. But usually once I hit the stage and start doing okay, it's all right.
I found myself-
I did all brand new.
Ooh, well, that's even tougher then.
And I love doing that because a lot of times really all brand new stuff, I'm more attached to it. And I think I deliver it better because once I get kind of bored with a set, because I usually I won't do the same set more than 4 or 5 times before I change a bunch of stuff.
Well, and if it starts getting stale, right? If you're already rusty, now add a stale set into rust. I mean, now you're adding insult to injury there. So I could understand that. My problem was I kept wanting to do, and I think Tim more so. I think Tim was much more uncomfortable than even I was, and I wasn't really that uncomfortable. Tim, I don't know if it took him a while to kind of find his footing. And I'm not blaming. It's perfectly fine. I have no problem with it.
Well, yeah,
but I could
if you're not used to doing
I could tell from
something-
listening to it. I could tell from when I was there that he was having a lot more trouble kind of finding his footing.
Right.
Joe obviously was really, really comfortable. Justine was just incredible.
Yeah.
From moment one, she was the person who sits next to me when we're watching a movie. It was just incredible. Right, because you're just like, I've never seen her in that light before. So it was, because for those of you who don't know, I do the Nicolas Cage show with my wife. So it was just incredible to see her do that and go like, she was just so natural with it. There was no feeling out period.
She should try some stand-up.
It was
comedy
great. She
then.
should do some stand-up. I think she might be listening right now. So
Well,
do
there
some
you
stand-up,
go,
Justine.
Yeah.
My problem was, and
if you want to do some stand-up, a great place to start is at Wiley's.
Sunday.
You can email WileySundayComics@gmail.com.
There it is.
And get a hold of Karen, and she'll hook you up with some stage time.
Yep.
That's for Justine and anybody else.
And that's the thing is
interested.
and I will say, I mean, I'm not going to do it. I'm already doing the podcast. We're going to probably do a live show every single month. That's all the fill I need. I don't need to try to do anything else.
Well, it's one thing to do a live show like we're doing a live show now. I used to get really nervous
Stand-up is
going
totally
on the air
different.
live. But yeah, and if you're in front of an audience doing a live show, that's a whole
I just got
different
a text from Justine. I will not be doing stand-up.
Oh, come on now. All right.
I just looked at my phone. I got a text. I will not be doing stand-up. But I and Tim was having this problem a lot to finish that story, which was wanting to kind of involve the crowd too much because you're uncomfortable. So you're wanting to kind of play into the crowd a little bit, get them excited. It's going to make you feel more comfortable. The problem is I was wanting to do it too much. And I think Tim was wanting to do it too much too. So I was trying to figure out a balance of like working in crowd, but also we're there to do something. We're there to record our podcast and do a normal show. And that's part of the allure, right? You're not catering it to to that, right? You're just recording in front of an audience basically, but you got to cater a little bit.
Did you get a lot of our audience participation?
You know what? At the very, very end of the podcast, and this is up on the iTunes feed. So if you guys go to iTunes,
I should have listened.
Look up the Nicolas Cage. Oh no, you're good. Look up the Nicolas Cage movie review hour. You can listen to this episode. It's up. It was gone in 60 seconds. It was episode number 24, I think. So you should be able to go up and listen to it. So at the very end, we did a Q&A, and it went fantastic. So we play this game. You know the game. If you could replace Nicolas Cage with anybody, who would it be? So we basically said, all right, if anyone has questions, line up. And when I asked that question, I wish I could describe to you the fear I had in my body before I asked this question. Because I went, if anyone has any questions, line up, and nobody stands up, I'm going to go, all right, well, see you guys. I mean, it would have been so painfully awkward. So I really kind of went on a limb to be like, all right, let's just ask. I'll just ask. Like, and if no one does it, I had a good feeling. I'm not kidding you. Over half the people stood up and got in line. And it was incredible.
Awesome.
It was such an incredible feeling watching that. So I said, all right, guys, before you can ask your question, you have to say who you'd replace Nicolas Cage with. And we had people doing impressions. It was incredible. It was so incredible. So now we're doing Vampire's Kiss. Gone in 60 seconds. There's crazy elements to it, but it's not a crazy movie. Vampire's Kiss is one of the craziest movies that you're ever going to see. If you have never seen Vampire's Kiss,
I don't think I have.
It is one of the most insane what is happening movies that you're ever going to see. There are a couple scenes from that movie that are just infamous for Nick Cage's overacting. He recites the entire alphabet in this crazy, aggressive, he has this weird accent the whole time. He's pretending to be a vampire. It's just, so if you thought that show, people were kind of getting into it and getting crazy with it, imagine this movie where it's actually a really crazy movie. And like, there really is a lot of stuff to talk about. So this show, I think, is going to go 2 times better. So I'm really excited. And I
that's
think
next Thursday.
This is next Thursday. So please, guys, 26th, doors open at 7, wear a costume. Joe Young is going to be doing an opening set. And then our special guest is going to be Dusty Harvey, who's going to be actually recording with us. So
cool. Guys,
come out. I mean, it was a blast last time. And like I said, we weren't even doing that crazy of a movie. Gone in 60 Seconds is not that crazy of a movie. Vampire's Kiss is just insane. So come on.
I'll have to check that one out, even though, you know, my feelings on Nick Cage, I'll still have to check it. If it's that crazy, I'll take your
Vampire's
word.
Kiss?
I'll check it out.
Yeah, trust me. Go check it out. Trust me.
All right, I'm going to play a little more Potter's Field. Like I keep saying, got a couple tickets to see Mike Paramore at Wiley's this weekend. Come by the studio, tap on the window, or you can call 775-5555, and I'll give you some tickets. All right. Thanks for listening to the Life Podcast. Check us out on Eventide Entertainment's podcast network. Remember, if you want to listen live, we're on Wednesdays from noon to 2 p.m. on WWSU 106.9 FM, or you can always stream the show live at WWSU1069.org. If you have suggestions or comments for the show, feel free to email us at thelife1069@gmail.com.
Presence overwhelms me. The brutal presence overwhelms me.
I have a chubby laugh. That's because you can tell when I laugh. It's like, fat guy.